Try to call back.
They still on the line with 911.
Sandra, we'll give you a vibe.
No, please bring me real quick. Give me one, please.
Protect yourself and others. All members of the service must wear their seatbelt when riding in an apartment vehicle.
Parkway Alvarez.
77 miles empty. What's up, folks? Good morning, Ed from Maryland here. How you doing?
From West 8 to West 15.
It's not, I don't know, it's responding. You have transit responders to the transit job. There's the new response. 39 trespass, 6707 Crescent Ave, 2707 Crescent Ave. Critical 196, keep attached to the building. Alright, 10-4, location sensitive. When they gave us a trip of male Hispanic, 30 years old, wearing a gray t-shirt.
Let's do a quick job assessment.
Black shoes and belt.
Thank you.
That's very well.
Looks like a couple BS fires happened before my shift. Shots fired in Staten Island. Yay.
Show me on a directed at 3020 Surf Avenue.
All right. Looks like nothing.
We had 75 Zebra at Grand Street. Injury at Grand.
Alright, 10-4. That's up. Take care. Good night, get home safe. What? Okay.
Kind of chilly out. I should have worn my fleece jacket, but you know, oh well. I got a down jacket I can wear over this, you know, so.
Okay.
And I, of course, brought my hat.
Charlie.
110 Charlie.
91. Transmit at 52.
I need a John fine, okay?
91.
They came over the out of here, so I need a 90 John final. Very responsive, too.
Individual 75 Tom, and square circle Westchester Drive.
First Avenue, St. Martin, First Avenue. 5.
So you need a rush on that bus. Or Dave.
North Haven.
1 dead, 1090 yellow. Show me the 35 direction at the same location. Outside,
South Sergeant.
get a level 1 over here to this location. Confirm that's flag.
South Sergeant, proceed. Sergeant.
It's going to be critical to sign.
Just be advised in regards to that EDP on the highway, both precincts posted out for the 106 and the 105.
South Adam.
Oh, Sergeant.
South Adam.
South Adam, let's see.
Regards to 34 tonight, we're looking for 3 perps. One 5'10" Latin American wearing a green polo dark pants. Another one is a male black, 6 foot, wearing blue threaded boxers. And the last one is a 5'6" Hispanic female wearing a color shirt.
The contact sergeant is calling 1111
Led
organization.
westbound.
To be read out in regards to a confirmed 34 with a knife. Let's try. No description about. I'll confirm to another bank person and sometime. Highway 593.
5913 Central, you can have 101 disregard for the area. We'll take care of it.
Operation Central.
Operation.
Central regards to the outside south. And the unit advised that mission located.
Alright, 10-4. My license operation.
That's what I think.
What plate is this?
There's a 6 minutes left. Outlets 100 800 feet. You're still on the fastest route.
Chihuahua? Is that a country? Or a town or a state? Yo quiero Taco Bell.
Adam? North Adam, are you on the Sandals Island? Alright. Alright, first of all, alright, North Adam, I need you to respond, about your jobs have been holding. It's been holding for about 50 minutes. 1 to West 48th Street, level 11, 11 Lincoln First, 11 Lincoln First, 1 to West 48th at Plaza, Commercialburg at Hospital, Fifth Avenue, the low person at 190 at America, narcotics at 225 West 45th Street, and 771 8th Avenue. Okay, you have anything about that red line? Alright, no problem. I'm in the confines of Highway 1 at the single vehicle on West 5th Street and Henry Hudson Parkway. Exit 12 northbound. Highway Lieutenant, Highway Sergeant Red on it? Thank you. I'm show responding to the Simpson Narcotics Restoration West 45th Street. And the Vesco at 771 8th Avenue, East Line. And also a procedure survey represented 43 West 51 Street on the roof.
Headed to Texas, guys.
Alright. The confines of the 5-2, we have an unconfirmed shot spotter activation at 2678 Valentine Avenue, 2678 Valentine Avenue. stretch of the Highway 1, Highway 53 on the highway on George Washington Bridge and Henry Hudson Parkway, George Washington Bridge and Henry Hudson Parkway. Highway 1, Sergeant Red. That's not even it? Affirmative. George Washington and Henry Hudson. Highway South, you said to notify CBTA? Temple, should I have a division unit head out as well? Temple. Step on the left unit. 17 Sergeant. Temple.
The United States, frail, confused, bitterly partisan, desecrating the memory of recently murdered children with tired talking points of the Democratic Party, dividing the country in a moment of deep pain rather than uniting. His voice rising, amplified only as he repeats the talking points he repeated for over 35 years in the United States Senate. Partisan politics being the only thing that animates him. Unfit for leadership of this country. Will Cain is a man we trust. He often fills in on this show. He's also the host of Fox and Friends Weekend. Will Cain, what a moment this would have been if he had stopped a sentence in and said, we're going to pray for these families and let's let this marinate for a minute. Let's stand respectfully before a tragedy. And Joe Biden has lived tragedy, so he could say that with some credibility. He moved immediately into some DNC rant off a cue card. That's the president?
What a moment this almost was.
Yes.
Was there a moment at the beginning of the speech, it sounded like he might bring this country together, talking
Yes.
about the loss inside someone when they lose a child, the hole that never will be filled, quoting scripture, which is so important in this moment, Tucker,
Yes.
because what we're suffering from culturally is a rot of spirituality, a loss of meaning. And then you're exactly right. He turns and gets animated when it's time to cast blame, when it's time to point fingers, when it's time to be partisan. You know, he can't point to a single law that would have stopped the shooter because he doesn't know what this shooter did yet, what gun he used. He knows nothing about the details of this crime. And so therefore he knows not what law he could offer that would solve this crime,
Exactly.
which reveals it was just simply partisanship. I've been listening to you tonight, Tucker, and I do share this sentiment with you. It's a true reflection of character and not limited to the President of the United States. If your first instinct is to turn to partisanship, if your first instinct is to blame those who disagree, You know, I know you're probably familiar with this, Tucker. David Foster Wallace gave an amazing speech once where he said, you don't get a choice of whether or not to worship. You get a choice as to what you worship. And what we are seeing people worship politics. And if that's the case, they'll sacrifice anything for their own righteousness, for their own narcissism, for their own partisanship.
I mean, to stand before the image of murdered children and your first impulse is, I can be more powerful if only I leverage this in the right way. That's what the President of the United States, I'm in shock having seen the President of the United States call for, more power for himself. That's his answer?
Well, the only reason I'm not in shock, Tucker, is I was around, and so were you, when I saw Barack Obama stand on the graves of dead children as well. And so this was somewhat anticipatory. You could expect this would be what would happen. And again, Tucker, I've been listening to you tonight, and you've been asking some important questions. For example, I heard you ask Judge Pirro earlier in the show, do we study these things? Do we study these shooters? How can we stop them in the future? You know, in the 80s, we put together a behavioral science unit at the FBI to stop serial killers. Now, these guys in these situations often kill themselves. We can see what makes them tick. We can do more. We can put money into protecting schools. We just gave $40 billion, Tucker, to Ukraine to protect and rebuild that country. We can't afford to protect our schools. We immediately put money into protecting schools from COVID. By the way, much of it, which is not yet used, could be used to protecting schools. There are things we can do, but the most important thing, Tucker, is figure out what's going on culturally with this country. We are callous, we are partisan, we are not spiritual, and we have lost meaning.
I hope we will not let politicians leverage our grief to make them more powerful for their aggrandizement. It's really disgusting, if I can say. Will Kane, I appreciate your coming on tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Tucker.
Danny Colson is former Deputy Assistant Director of the FBI, and he commanded and founded the FBI's hostage rescue team. Danny, I imagine FBI agents are on the scene right now. What's happening?
Collecting evidence. It's kind of a tragedy, isn't it? I want to commend a guest you had on, the SWAT team commander from Oklahoma, I think. He talked about what they do. Something much better than that is to have armed police officers inside the school protecting our kids. 7 of my 8 grandchildren are in schools in Texas, and they're this age. We just gave $40 billion to Ukraine. Why don't we allocate money to protect our own citizens, to put policemen in our schools to protect our children from these monsters? I'm really angry about this. I'm saddened, and frankly, I'm a lot afraid.
Well, Kellyanne Conway on the 5 made an excellent point that there are billions of dollars that were given to schools across the country for COVID relief. And that money has not been spent. That money is just sitting there waiting to be spent. And I think maybe a common sense idea would maybe take some of that money, a couple billion would do it, and harden some of these soft targets, especially the elementary schools. Because as we learn that a lot of the Texas middle schools and high schools will have armed security guards there, but the elementary schools do not. And I think it would make a lot of sense to make sure that we have armed security agents there, at least one, for every elementary school in the entire country. It would be common sense, Danny.
Yeah, it would be. I totally agree with that. And I mean, I was in the business of rescuing people from situations like this. It's a lot better to be inside, keeping the bad guys out, than trying to go in and find the bad guys. And why don't we do that? We have the money. And one other thing I think it's important to remember, the gun genie is out of the bottle. You can outlaw guns tomorrow. They're still out there. And we need to protect ourselves. We need to have courage to bring in policemen that will risk their lives and save our children and put a stop to this stuff. Stop it before they get through the front door.
And this guy reportedly had a handgun and a rifle. We haven't confirmed that yet, but it looked like some of that grainy footage indicated that there was a long gun involved. It's a very rural area. It's down in South Texas near the border.
Yes.
I'm sure that's just, every 18-year-old's probably proficient in firearms down there. It's just part of the way of life in South Texas. So as you said, you really can't do anything about the access if the gun was legal, And he was a psychopath. He killed his own grandmother, reportedly, and then stormed into this school. So, the gun thing, and as you heard Brett Baer say just a second ago, that's going to be dangerous territory if you hear the president wander into that avenue tonight.
He will.
I think there would be a lot more bipartisan agreement, I would assume, to strengthen and harden some of these soft targets. You could call it infrastructure, you could call it protecting the kids. Do you see any reason why that would not happen, just even in Texas alone?
Well, it should happen, and we have the money to do it. Another thing, Jesse, is really important. Our mental health issues are in disarray. Every time we have a shooting like this, and I do a lot of research, I do a lot of training on this, it's some crazy guy.
Yep.
The world knows he's crazy. A lot of times police talk to him and they refer him for an evaluation. They gave him a pill, send him home. He goes home and gets his gun and kills people. That's a common denominator here. And Congress is not addressing that. Our state legislature is not addressing that because we're so worried about offending somebody that we don't address people that are a threat to our society. And it's scary. It's scary not only in schools, in supermarkets, at the mall, wherever you go today. You need to be very conscious of your surroundings. And remember, the police are minutes away, but seconds matter. It's up to you to protect yourself.
Absolutely. All right,
It's
Danny
up
Coulson,
to
thank
you
so
to
much for joining
protect
us.
yourself.
Thank you.
Excellent
Hey, Sean
point.
Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News.
I definitely agree. We need cops at, I think they said we already have them in high schools, but we definitely need cops at elementary school as well, right? Because we need a good guy with a gun to stop that bad guy with a gun. Pretty common sense.
And joining me now is Chris Swecker, former assistant director of the FBI. Chris, we're hearing dribs and drabs about this shooter who's now dead. Pictures reportedly on Instagram that have been deleted of his weapons and these messages reportedly to women in his life. What's your initial assessment of all this?
Yeah, again, Laura, an unspeakable cowardly act. I have grandchildren, one to turn 9 today. I can't imagine what these parents are having to deal with their hearts ripped out. Like every mass shooter, especially the young ones, this one was flashing red, it appears, which is no surprise. I mean, they seem to always communicate threats. They seem to articulate what they're thinking, their state of mind. The people around them can't help but notice that. We don't know whether anybody reported this and whether any law enforcement officer ever had any contact with him over this, but I do school security assessments quite often, and I advocate always for an armed security guard at every school, especially the elementary schools where
At
the little ones
every
can't
school.
run, hide, fight. You can't do that with the little ones. They don't have the the acumen and the wherewithal to do that. So there's a lot to take in here, Laura.
Well, there's a lot can be done, as Andrew Pollack, who lost his daughter Meadow at the Parkland school shooting. There's a lot that can be done even short of having an armed security officer at the front of every entrance or exit. I mean, whether it's bulletproof glass, whether it's intercom, only bring in someone who's previously cleared. There are barriers to entry that can be put up, but they're inconvenient. And it's a wonderful community, Uvalde. It's an incredible place. So they just go by the wayside. That's human nature until a tragedy occurs.
Security is a tough field because you don't get any attention, you don't get any resources unless something bad happens. It's hard to make that case when something catastrophic has not happened. But you're right. One of the most important things you can do is control access, especially after school has started. And in this case, there ought to be one access point for especially for an elementary school, which is fairly small, and a threat assessment team inside the school. If someone is flashing red or somebody is exhibiting behaviors, there needs to be a team that gets together and assesses what's going on and gets law enforcement involved.
Chris, I'm actually surprised we don't know more about this shooter yet. With the world that we have and how fast information flies, that there aren't more people who actually knew him well who've already spoken out. Are you a little bit surprised about that? Is that a loner profile, perhaps?
I am, and I sense that a lot is being withheld right now. For example, I think there was a chase involved. The accident tips me off. The fact that he was in he had just shot his grandmother, that the officers were on the scene so quickly. I hear about independent school district officers that were already there very quickly. I sense that there might have been a chase involved. The father said that, actually, in a quote.
All right. Well, Chris, we're going to stay on this. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe.
So a troubling revelation from an independent review by the National School Boards Association. It found the organization had planned to ask the White House to send military to monitor school board meetings, where the board likened angry parents to
Bringing our panel, Harold Ford Jr., former Tennessee Congressman, co-host of The Five; Molly Hemingway, editor-in-chief at The Federalist, and former White House Press Secretary Ari Fleischer. Ari, you dealt with a number of these kinds of events and shootings during your time as White House Press Secretary. We've seen them increase over the years. Your thoughts on this day and where we go from here?
Well, the immediate most important thing is the compassion and the support that needs to be extended to the families and to everybody at the school. Even those who didn't lose their children, they're traumatized. And that community needs to come together, and they need the help from everybody and love from everybody. Beyond that, it's such a feeling of hopelessness, isn't it? Now, I don't live very far from Newtown, Connecticut, where that killing took place, and it changed all the elementary schools in the area where I am from. And you can't even get into elementary schools up here anymore. They're double doors, they're locked, and if you walk into that first door, you can't get through the second door. We're going to have to harden our elementary schools. It's going to take decades, and I'm afraid that is the only practical thing I can think of. Everything else is politics and the blame game.
Yeah, which is said in and of
Harden
itself.
our elementary schools.
Harold, your thoughts?
Definitely.
Your children, and on this day, the parents receiving that news is the thing that everybody just thinks about. What if it was? What if it was me?
Brett, thanks. And Ari, I agree with you wholeheartedly. My kids were coming in the door from sports as the story was unfolding, as I was beginning to see it unfold on television. And I can only imagine every parent. My kids are 7 and 8. Any parent with any age child, young child, is gonna hug even and I think Ari's right about what we have to do in schools, but one of the things public officials have to, be it law enforcement or those elected to public office, have to ponder at this moment is what can be done differently and what can be done as fast as possible. First, we need to get to the bottom of what happened here in this situation. It's obviously, I pray for those families, and I hope these numbers do not go up, the death toll numbers. But as Bill Malugin and others, who in his great reporting earlier, what we learned is that the numbers may go up, and even Trace Gallagher, as he covered this earlier. Schools and streets, subways, public places like grocery stores. I think we have to be willing to confront the conversation around guns and figure out if there are sensible things that we can do. Of course, it's a hard charge and highly politicized conversation at times. But one thing we know for certain, and I think that your last guest, the former DC police detective said it earlier, there are too many guns on the street. streets. This is not a statement about the Second Amendment. This is just a statement that too many of the wrong people have guns in their hands, and how are homeless people and others getting guns in their hands when they can't feed themselves and can't support themselves, but somehow or another can find the money to buy a gun. Again, we need to get to the bottom of all this, that there's a lot of heartfelt condolences and other things that are going out to these families in this community, and I certainly don't want to interrupt that. But those in public life shouldn't shirk their responsibilities. We need to have these hard, uncomfortable conversations about what we can do to prevent these kinds of things from happening going forward.
Molly?
I do think at times like this, people sort of take comfort in talking about political answers to what's happening at this school and in so many other mass shootings, and that's fine. I mean, restoring peace and order to our society, it is a political question and it does need to be debated. It's also true that this is evil and that there are things beyond politics that we need to do. We just seem to be a completely broken country that does not love one another. The person who committed this horrible act is responsible alone for what happened. But there are bigger issues in play about how we treat one another, the love we show, whether we value human life. And this is something political, but it's also something much more than political. And I think everybody should think about the people in their lives, love one another, think about how to show love to people that you maybe don't normally show love to address the brokenness and fallenness, and to pray for relief from this sin that is besieging us, throughout the land. This is the second mass shooting in 10 days, and it's untenable what we have here. And it's, again, politics is an appropriate response, but this is something much deeper. There's a moral rot going on that we all need to dig in and try to address.
Thank you. Panel.
61 degrees. Should have wore my fleece jacket and all that kind of stuff. Did not. I really think I'm gonna be cold. I'll do the down jacket and the body armor over that, maybe. Yeah, I guess that's what I gotta do. Wait a minute. What if I did the down jacket underneath the Adidas zip up? Would that work? I don't know. I think that would be kind of awkward. But I just don't think I would like the look of the down jacket underneath of the body armor. You know? I think the Adidas zip up looks much better under the body armor. Yes, these are the kinds of questions I ask myself and think about. Speaking about schools, here's a school right here. And don't worry, folks, people were asking details about that, the Texas shooting. Yeah, we're going to get to the details of it. I'm going to read some articles as soon as I'm done with this job, which I believe this is the story of the night. Oops, next one. You have OCD. Hey, maybe I do, maybe I don't. But let me tell you something. I think about these things. I think about all these things. I used to be into fashion too, to some degree. But these days, it's like I rarely dress up. Last time I dressed up was for a wedding. You know, but if I did go out, if I had the context to dress up more, I would, but there's no context in which that is regular. Right? Don't go out to the, I don't do nightlife no more like I used to, right? Go! He's yelling at me to go. I mean, I'm not stopping. I just don't want to hit those workers. I'm not even looking at them. Because I'm not interested in looking into another man's eyes. So this guy in my building, well, I don't think he lives there. He just visits his family member or whatever, his mother. She sees me and my wife walking. He gives her, oh, hello, how are you? And then does he not recognize my face? Does he not remember that he has given me his religious flyer? I think he's a reborn Christian or something. That's what he said. Does he not remember my face? That he's, you know, given me this flyer. This is the third time now, collectively, if I include me and my wife. He's given me his religious flyer. And it said on there, like, there's good people and bad people. Or there's good news and bad news. Or some, I don't know. I didn't open it. I didn't bother. But last time, I told this guy, oh, thank you. You know I'm Catholic, right? And he's like, oh, great, you know, I should tell you my story of how I was a reborn Christian or something. I'm like, that's great, brother. God bless. And then, you know, you would think after that situation, he would remember that, like, why would I give a Christian, why would I try and evangelize a Catholic as a reborn Christian? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Right? I think that this dude, I think this guy does not remember. He does not remember. And when you don't remember, That's a problem. Okay? So he does not remember. Now watch, I'm gonna see him again tomorrow and he's gonna give me another freaking flyer. Alright? So we just arrived at this incident here. Let me brief you guys on what this is about. This is a fatal police-involved shooting. The story is a gunman, he fired at female victims. Officers engaged this gunman and neutralized the threat. He was pronounced deceased at hospital, right? The cops also went to hospital, most likely for ringing in the ears. I do not think so far that the cops were shot. And yes, this is in woke up this morning, got yourself a gun. Mama. Be the chosen one. You're looking good, baby. I believe you're feeling fine. Shame about it. Bone on the bad side with the blue moon in your eyes. I woke up this morning. Things don't been the same since the blues walked in your town. Is this too tight? I feel like this is too tight. Maybe. So, I'm gonna do a weather test first before I decide what I want to wear. Let's do a weather test. I'll just get my tripod out first. Not sure if I'm gonna need that jacket or not. Well, what do you know? It's not even that cold. Not even as cold as I thought it was. Definitely looks much better than a down jacket. I think a car's coming. Let's see how close he is to my car. Yeah, he's getting there fine. He's not like getting too close or anything. Now, we're gonna take bets on if the cop allows me to go past the RMP, right? Or not. Keep in mind, there is no crime scene tape here. There's only crime scene tape way further back. So let's take bets. Sometimes cops like to have an imaginary police tape there. I am seeing civilians there though, like past where the RMP is. And I don't think I've seen the Hudson County Sheriff before, but you know, let's go down all the way to that tape. Good morning, sir. You know what happened?
I don't know.
Huh?
I cannot pass it.
Oh. There's a
I'm
police.
going to it. Already locked.
There's like a police.
I don't know what really happened. I think maybe a big crime or whatever.
Yeah, there was a police
because
involved
they
shooting.
cross over right there. No one can pass.
That was a police involved shooting.
Yeah, the police was allowed, but I think the other detectives is already.
You want to say anything for the news?
What?
You want to say anything for the news?
No.
No problem.
But
Thank you,
honestly,
sir.
bro, I don't understand what really happened.
Oh, okay, no problem. Take care, sir.
Yeah. Take a nice view.
Thank you. $4.79 for gas in New Jersey. Looking good, baby. I believe you're feeling fine. Shame about it. Bone on the bad side with a blue moon in your eyes. This morning, got a blue moon, got a blue moon in your eye. Woke up this morning. Oh, hey, look, it's competition ×1. He's all the way on the other side. I think a cop might know, yeah. That must be the better spot, though, so I think I've got to head over there. Especially if he's over here. And especially if this angle does not seem to be too interesting. So not much from this angle. We are gonna go around, and looks like we've got to do that until we do get a good angle. But so far, you know, not much here to work with. How you doing? You heard what happened? You want to say anything for the news, man?
Yes, sir. Maybe he has an idea what's happening because you stop
You mind
right
being
there.
on camera?
Yeah.
Alright, give me a-
You can be
just right over
there,
there.
so they show the view. Make some
Sure the fuck is gonna be on that camera.
You have a little idea what's really happening.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. 'Cause that was wrong. That was.
All right, give me one moment, ma'am. One moment.
Yes, I am.
All right, ma'am. Tell me about what happened here.
All right, we standing in front of the door, me and my friends and stuff, and the guy and the woman that walked across the street, and then the cops jumped out their car, and then they started shooting me, and then they shot the girl in the chest. She was like, "I'm hitting my chest." Yes, and they jumped out. God, that was wrong. Yes.
Yeah, how do you feel about all this?
How do I feel about that? That's wrong. That was really wrong. That man lost his life by these cops. And people so quick to call these cops, and look what they did to this man, this innocent man, just laying out here like this, just dead like this. That's wrong. That's messed up. Yes, it's wrong. Yes, it really is.
Do you want to give your name, ma'am?
My name is Ebony Wilson.
Can you spell it?
EBONYWILSON.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes.
Appreciate it.
That was.
Oops, I think we got the wrong angle here. All right, there we go. So we're gonna try to get more angles because I feel like we're a little bit far from where we need to be at. We might just get the signs here just in case we can't get signs that are any closer. This would be the closest intersection, I guess, with some signs that I do see. Wow. Is really that far? Sure, I'll see what I can do. So I suppose I could walk down there, but it looks like a far walk. Super far walk. I don't know why the hell they're blocking it off this far. But we could try the smaller roads here to see if it is an option. They're definitely not blocking off this street right here, so. Looks like some sketchy characters. We do see some emergency lights right now. And this is most likely where competition ×1 access the scene from this street, from this angle. These cops here are hanging out. They are waving me to go proceed. I'm more curious of what they're up to. Did they arrest anybody? Are they stopping anybody? What are they up to? So this is the limit. This is the one of the other limits of the crime scene right here. This is probably where competition ×1 that is at. Let's hey, that's a nice cute little spot right here. I think the other side might have been better, but not really impressed with this side, I'll tell you that.
You want a soda or water? Water. Water too? You want a Coke or? No, water. That's you guys? You out? No. Where you guys at? Huh? You guys at? Here, I'll go back. I'll see you. Careful.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
I don't want you to.
Thank you. Dude, you know what happened? You know what happened?
Sorry, man. No, I wasn't outside for it.
Oh, the cop shot somebody.
Oh, shit. I didn't hear nothing.
Yeah, there was like a gunman who shot at some females and the cop shot him.
Oh, wow.
Something like that. You want to comment for the news?
Nah, man, I'm good.
Just like how you feel about it or whatever?
I'm all good.
All right,
Thanks,
thank
though.
you, man. All right, folks. So, I think we need more angles. Let's see what other angles we can get, because I'm not impressed at all. Like, this is like the boringest B-roll I've ever shot in my life. Let's try another angle. I assume competition times 1 is also trying to get another angle. And that's what we do. Angles, angles, angles. But to circle back to some original great points about this shooting, harden our soft targets, which is our elementary schools. Have a cop at every elementary schools. Some high schools got cops. I know even a middle school I went to when I first moved to the United States in Pocatello, Idaho. Yes, I used to live there. Had a cop. High school I went to in Ohio, nope, I can't recall a cop being there. I don't think this is the street here. It's the next one. Let's see. I bet cops got this blocked off too. So, which sucks, but you know, I see some unmarked vehicles going in as well. Yeah, they're definitely restricting access into here. Definitely we can't go in there unless we want to walk super far. And that is a long walk. That looks like a long walk. Ironically, the McDonald's drive-thru there. What if I went through the drive-thru and then I went, because they're not blocking the drive-thru off, right? I feel they're not trying that hard to not let people in, because the real crime scene is located all the way inside, right? That RMP is just restricting vehicle access so they don't have to turn all the way back around because they can't access that area. Let's give it a shot, but I'm willing to bet. Just expect cops to siren and, you know, have a fit about me going there. Just watch that be the situation. I would not be surprised by it. But as a stringer, we take these risks because we need to do what it takes. And look, I don't want to walk a whole damn block. You know? Now there's a police car behind me, but I have a feeling they are going to the crime scene and they're not worried about me. Nope, they are not. As they shouldn't. You can even go to Checkers while you're here. My intuition was right. And special thanks to McDonald's. I didn't go to that job. Much better scene. Much better scene. Nice RMP too. Uh-oh, I'm in night mode. How do I get out of here? How you doing, officer? Is anyone available to make a statement by any chance for the media? Thank you. Oops, I think I messed that one up. Let's go ahead and delete that last scene there. Alright, let's get closer.
Nope.
I'm not gonna walk all the way around there. So
We have an active crime scene right now. We have an active crime scene.
on one side of the street.
And then we have shell casing. It's an active crime scene. Do you have anybody that's doing the crime scene?
Can we at least walk this way and come
Yeah,
this way?
it's like Delaware.
We can still walk west side, right?
I ain't going to the goddamn park. The animals.
You gotta think it says sensitive.
Don't walk the park.
Y'all know what happened?
Right side of the street.
Huh?
Y'all know what happened?
Not really.
He's a police involved shooting.
What happened? Police involved shooting?
Yeah.
Ain't no police.
You guys want to say anything for the news?
No police involved shooting.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
I already seen witnesses.
So Jersey City is pretty unique in effect. It's kind of unique where if there's a crime scene or there's evidence to preserve, they set up a tent. You guys can see that tent there, and all the evidence is within that tent. You can see cops, on the outside of it and shining flashlights into that tent. So it looks like the guys that wanted to cross the crime scene tape here, they went around the other side, and they couldn't cross there either. So looks like he's pretty mad about it. Actually, they're setting up their tripod to investigate the crime scene here, which is the New Jersey State Police Crime Scene Unit, NJSP. There he is. Tough angle, but let's give it a shot. Nope. Don't have a shot. There we go. Now it's getting a little chilly. And you're going to set up your equipment here. This is probably better for y'all right here. But, you know, nothing fancy to see. Just investigation, crime scene unit. How you doing? Alright, I think we're good for now. You know when you did a good job and you can feel that you did a good job and you're confident you did a good job? I think I did a good job. And the beauty of this job is that I actually have time to edit it. Thanks, folks. And I gotta say, just when you thought nothing was gonna happen because of Texas, right? As we know, when a big national story happens, it tends to kill the local stories because all of a sudden the local news stations want to report what happened thousands of miles away. But that's how it is. In some cases, because some people, let's say they turn on your local news at 6 a.m. Are they gonna wait until, let's say channel 7, right? Are they gonna wait till like good GMA? Is GMA ABC? I think so, right? Yeah. Are you gonna wait till Good Morning America shows up for them to get their national news? No, they want everything in one cute little package, which is their morning news, right? And that's why the local stations get priority over the national news stations as far as timing goes, right?
So it's about 5'8", wearing gray sweatpants and a blue track jacket. What boy? Northwood. Also give us that 10-10 at Adams Q. Northwood, thank you.
Wow, one of those killed was a 10-year-old girl. She said the grandfather said she didn't want to go to school today. You think she may have had a sense of like, hey, something. I did not want to go to school today, she said. But grandfather said, you got to go to school. You wonder though, right? If she was intuitive, maybe she had a bad feeling about it. Surprised you ain't at this job.
17 response in regards to the 52 dispute. The CB states he didn't call for police and I hung up. Complex 100 precinct, Uncle Firm EDPA 209, 96 Rockaway Beach Boulevard and Rockaway Freeway. Running up angle and take unknown weapons. Rest of the truck crew. Southside 24 precinct, Uncle Firm EDP aided with schizophrenia at 2643 Broadway, West 101 Street in the basement. Always open. Just show me out to Lutheran in regards. Yeah, Complex 70, Uncle Firm EDP aided. Come from the 783 Station House. Waiting for additional. At 65 6th Avenue, Edinburgh Street. Southwood. North Boyd Central, the 1011, Division 90 North, 90 Unit. My apologies, Operate on Central. Central, can you have a Staff Sergeant 10-1 up?
All right, we were standing in front of the door, me and my friends and stuff, and the guy and the woman that walked across the street, and then the cops jumped out their car, and then they started shooting me.
Tell me about what happened.
All right, we were standing in front of the door, me and my...
Tell me about what happened.
All right, we were standing in front of the door, me and my friends and stuff, and the guy and the woman that walked across the street, and then the cops jumped out their car, and then they started shooting me, and then they shot the girl in the chest. She was like, I'm hitting in my chest. Yes, and they jumped out. And the cops jumped out their car, and then they started shooting me, and then they shot the girl in the chest. She was like, I'm hitting in my chest. Yes, and they jumped out. Wow, that was wrong. Yes.
Yeah, how do you feel about all this?
How do I feel about that? That's wrong. That was really wrong. That man lost his life by these cops. And people so quick to call these cops and what they did to this man, this innocent man, just laying out here like this, just dead like this. That's wrong. That's messed up. Yes, it's wrong. Yes, it really is.
Do you want to give your name now?
My name is Ebony Wilson.
Stop response 1. 1011 90 North.
Guys, do you think there's gonna be anything else that's gonna be more newsworthy than this tonight? I don't think so, guys. I don't think so.
On the 27th floor. That's 550 West 45th Street on the 27th floor. Between spaces at aided Asian male, possibly intoxication, possibly unconscious.
I can't even see the chat. Hold on.
Me and my friend walked across the street, and then it
Anyone else get a FDA thing about Jif peanut butter? Like, what the hell? Hey, check it out. It's the detectives. The dung da 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 dung dung. The dung da 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 dung dung dung. Do da na 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 da 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 da. I guess detectives drive RAV4s in Jersey.
I have a 54 unconscious and David Sector, but he's on milk, and I found out Sector. North, boy. EMS is already on scene, I'll keep you above. South Charlie. South Charlie, that's around the third shift.
Is today Tuesday or Wednesday? I think Wednesday, right? Yep.
32 or 34? Alright, 34. 17 Sergeant. Charlie has car, they get out the line. North end. North Island. Negative.
What do you want, Nick? Nice, man. I hope your body cam was on to capture all of this. Nick rescued a puppy, guys. He's my hero.
I don't do Jersey. I work for the New York Jersey, whatever.
Man, you acting like you never seen a Jersey story in the New York Post in your life.
And I took a few photos. No camera on them. I put it all in your live stream chat. So the whole story's there for everybody.
I can be your hero, baby. To the puppies. Yo, guys, I heard Nick's gonna start a new unit. It's called the NY. Hold on, I gotta type this out, guys. It's not easy being breezy in a world full of cleanliness and I got it, guys. I heard Nick is gonna start a unit. It's called NYCPRU. You guys ready for this? The New York City Puppy Rescue Response Unit. NYCPRU. Nick will be the president and founder. He's taking volunteers. All volunteers will have their vehicles equipped with lights and sirens to faster save these puppies. Okay. Also, I nominate myself as vice president, and as vice president, one of the things that we're gonna make sure is that our members gotta be married, just like Hadzola members. Okay? Nick's an exception because he's the president. President does whatever he wants. But everybody else, you gotta be married. Why? He shows commitment over here, okay? You're not gonna drive crazy or act like a fool, driving reckless if you're married and you got kids and all that, right? Okay? It shows commitment. You gotta be married to join the NYRRTU, what was the acronym again? I thought Texas was going to kill all the local stories, but then this happened. What was I gonna do? Yes, I was gonna send video.
The cross streets I have from 1010 is going to be 2nd and 1st Avenue. The address is 440.
The only time I see a Jersey story in the post is because Chris covered it. And that's only because he wants to go home early. If he didn't live in Jersey, he probably wouldn't cover it either.
Wow, look at Nick with the this dog. Who wants to see Nick and this dog right here? I can be a hero, baby. I can take away all the pain. I can hold you forever. You can take my breath away. I can be your hero, baby. I can take away a pain. I think that dog was singing to him. Or singing along, rather.
In regards to that 20, strong arm robbery, negative 1, in regards to that, from mobilization point 34 and 3rd Avenue. Coming over again. Negative. I show it's unidentified.
Guys, Curtis Lewa just followed me on Instagram. Holy crap. This is a guy who almost became the mayor of New York City.
And also attention calls for help. Open line 11835 Boulevard, cross of 78 Avenue and 78 Crescent.
For territory available location for that 53 and one more direction 91.
And I'll try to call back. Register service Evanston as we can to the 7 Avenue.
Indicated from NYC Charles on 61 and beautiful friend.
Wow, Lincoln Park is right here. I wonder if this Lincoln Park was named after Lincoln Park, the band. Or was the band named after this Lincoln Park? I don't know, guys. Kind of weird. Lincoln Park. Except this one is spelled Lincoln. We're still in Jersey City? Yes, we are.
What kind of job you all in that truck?
Oh, look, cones. Should I steal one? Should I steal a cone? Look at all these cones. They're just asking me to steal one. Just one. For the next pothole I encounter, so I can donate that cone to a pothole and warn other drivers about it. Gotta love Jersey's right on red rule. I find it quite nice, actually.
Coming to the 515 deli. He said at the female left, he said that you guys can come in.
Let me know if you need the clean version. Take care, Nick. And make sure y'all follow Nick. Subscribe to Nick, folks. We gotta get Nick 100,000 subscribers in 2022. See me in an hour. I don't know if I'm gonna be around an hour. There's your views, Trish. Sharp curve ahead. Ten Echo. Where am I going? Let's figure this out together.
That's why you have to file for your zebra.
Yes, that's the nice one.
That's what you emails have that for you. 7 and join.
That's one, thank you.
This is why Jersey can suck. It can suck.
And you stand up to the no weapons, no injuries.
So if that's what you gotta do, sometimes you gotta, can't always make split-second decisions. 'Cause let me tell you something, one wrong turn in Jersey, you're gonna add miles or take you add additional 50 minutes to your ETA just because that's how these roads are built. Oh, Walmart. Oh, gas station. I wonder if gas is cheaper here. It feels like a similar price, right? This is $4.79. It feels similar. The premium's like $5 something, $5.45 or something. You can't justify getting gas now. I'll just fill up $35 like I usually do when I'm almost empty. Right now I got 53 miles to empty, so not bad, I don't think. Gotta say, these blue lights are nice. I don't know if it's new or not, but I will say I'm not used to it. I think it's new. I don't know. It makes going over this bridge an experience unlike any other. Welcome to New York, the Empire State over here. Let me save that as a highlight. Gonna title that Colorful Bridge. Another welcome to New York sign. Fuel level low, 50 miles to empty. The only thing about Staten Island, you gotta watch out for deer. So, definitely don't be shy to use those high beams. Ow, Charlie. Stop it. article, yeah. So we're gonna, don't worry folks, we're gonna talk about the Texas situation. I'd love to have content with the whole Texas situation, but you know, if you guys see any Twitter video, now don't get me wrong, okay, I'm not looking for the bodies of children, okay, we're not gonna show that, even if there is, but what ideally I would find some free video to use. Maybe someone posted it on Twitter. You know, there's always random cell phone videos of any major incident. Safe video, as in nothing rated R, nothing showing bodies. You know, crime scene. Give me police cars and crime scene tape. I'll be happy with that. You know, if you guys see anything, feel free to DM me, or you know, mention it on. Who's that suspicious looking guy? On what is it? On Discord, yeah. Right, I do know police had a press conference. We're gonna try and look for that as well. Hopefully they live streamed it. Hopefully it's on their Twitter. What is that? The Volva Police Department or something? What is that called? Vivaldi, or I forget how you say that name of that town, but you know, of course I'm gonna read like one news article and we'll call that our, you know, our content, because you know, for some people I gotta say, not everybody watches news every day. Maybe some people just follow this channel and they expect to get their news, right? So, you know, we have an obligation to our subscribers, especially if they are around the world, right? So I'm just tired of the United States being this embarrassment for, you know, this mass shootings that keep on happening, right? Like we've heard on the news broadcast that we watched earlier en route to Jersey, we need to harden our soft targets. We need to have cops at schools. It is my opinion that we need to have much stronger gun laws in the sense that, you know, we need to find out, we need to make sure that not anybody can buy a gun, right? We need to make sure these psychos, these EDPs, these mentally unfit folks to have it, own and have a gun, they should not be allowed, right? They should not be allowed. I don't think they should be allowed. So, and of course training as well. I think training is also very important. You saw a video get pulled. Yeah, you know what? I did that. That was me, actually. You probably saw me. I was doing a road trip, and I didn't think it was a big deal. I had no idea. Of course, it was my first experience doing something like that. So I was playing a bunch of music, and then they took my stream down. So yeah, yeah. So the gun. Yeah, what did the gun do? Yeah, guns are just tools and objects like cars, right? You can have a license to drive a car. I think you should have a license to have a gun. There's some places, you know, you don't really even need a background check. You know, you can just buy it, and you know, I don't think that's wrong. I think you need to be cleared by a psychologist or something, you know, or you know, as long as they don't take away the guns, right? As long as they don't say, hey, you can't have them. Do this shot because I want to do the this video. Oh wait a minute, I can't read a news article, and that's a problem. I might just do a live highlight. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll do a live highlight. That's what I'll do.
167 in the Grand Concourse PNG line.
So that means I gotta keep this under 5 minutes, right? I gotta keep this under 5 minutes. So let's see. I'll just read one article. We'll call that our, you know, just gotta make sure, you know, it's under 5 minutes because the highlights are only under 5 minutes. Okay, so here we go. Breaking news, guys. in Uvalde, Texas, school shooting leaves 19 children, 3 adults, including the shooter, dead. Uvalde high school student Salvador Ramos allegedly gunned down 22 people, including 19 children, at Robb Elementary School, Texas authorities said. Wait a minute, where's the main article? So apparently there's 23 posts on this. All right. So there's already a lot of articles on this, but there's like articles within articles. Hold on, let me go to a different news source. That was Fox News, by the way. Let's go to ABC. At least 19 children and 2 teachers are dead after a shooting at Robb Elementary School in Uvalde, Texas on Tuesday, according to Texas Department of Public Safety. The 18-year-old suspect, a student at Uvalde High School, is also dead, Governor Greg Abbott said. Abbott said the suspect shot and killed horrifically and incomprehensibly more than a dozen students and a teacher. The shooter was identified by law enforcement sources and the governor as Salvador Ramos. Authorities have recovered an AR-15 rifle and numerous mags, multiple law enforcement sources told ABC News. The suspect was wearing body armor, was immediately engaged outside the building as he approached the school by a Uvalde Independent School District police officer who was shot by the suspect, sources said. The students shot were mainly 3rd and 4th graders and 1 teacher, according to the sources. Authorities initially said the suspect also allegedly shot and killed his grandmother at a separate scene before entering the school and again opening fire. ABC News later learned that his grandmother is in critical condition but alive. After the first shooting, the suspect then crashed his car outside the elementary school. U.S. Border Patrol agents responded to the law enforcement request for assistance. Uvalde ISD officers and Border Patrol tactical unit agents traded fire with the suspect inside the building. 2 responding police officers were among those injured, Abbott said. They're expected to survive. One of the Border Patrol agents sustained injuries while trying to protect students and is at the hospital recovering. Del Rio Sector Chief Jason Owens told ABC News. When parents drop their kids off at school, they have every expectation to know they're going to be able to pick up their child when that school day ends. And there are families who are in the mourning right now. The state of Texas is in mourning with them for the reality that these parents are not going to be able to pick up their children. The hospital said 15 students were being treated at the hospital's ER in the wake of the incident. 2 patients were transferred to San Antonio for treatment. 3rd was pending transfer. 45-year-old was also hospitalized after getting grazed by a bullet. University Health in San Antonio said it had 2 patients from the shooting, 66-year-old woman and a 10-year-old girl, both in critical condition. 2 adult victims of the shooting, both in critical condition, also being treated at Brooke Army Medical Center in San Antonio. A number of the shooting victims are children of the Customs and Border Patrol agents. Mayor Don McLaughlin did not confirm casualties, but told ABC in a text, this is a very bad situation. He said, and the office is trying to contact parents before releasing any info. Earlier, Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District had said a shooter was located at Robb Elementary School and asked people to stay away from the area. There is an active shooter at Robb Elementary, the school district said on Twitter. Law enforcement is on site. Your cooperation is needed at this time by not visiting the campus. As soon as more info is gathered, it will be shared. A school official initially told ABC the shooting took place off campus and that Robb Elementary School was under lockdown. The shooting occurred shortly after 11:30 a.m. local time. The school, which has students in the 2nd and 3rd and 4th grades, informed parents shortly after 2 p.m. The students had been transported to the Sergeant Willie DeLeon Civic Center, the reunification site, and could be picked up. Parent Ryan Ramirez told San Antonio ABC he had gone to the Civic Center and the elementary school trying to find his 4th grade daughter in the wake of the shooting. I'm just confused and worried. I'm trying to find out where my baby's at, he told the station. Uvalde, Texas, located 90 minutes west of San Antonio. The sheriff's office and the police department are sending aid. FBI responding. Houston Field Division of Bureau of ATF and Explosives said in assisting the investigation. DHS has been briefed on the situation. The agency is actively coordinating with federal, state, and local partners. Border Protection officials in the area also responded to the scene. National Counterterrorism Ops Center believes there is no known terrorism nexus at this time, according to law enforcement bulletin obtained by ABC. Now, this is from ABC News, folks. The previous headline was from Fox News, but they had so many articles. I just read the ABC News one. So yeah, feel free to check out your, your news sources for additional info. We may or may not keep you guys updated. National stories aren't really our thing, but we're gonna see, if we can find some video that is usable as well. With that being said, thanks to Mods for moderating, folks. Nice and short, cute little short tour tonight. Police involved shooting, fatal, Jersey City. We probably got the hits on that one. Pretty confident. We got a witness interview. Yeah, thanks to Mods for moderating. Have a good night, folks. If you're a member, send me a DM, Adam Loud Labs. Pat, Tyrone, Mad Dog, Trish, Todd, Pat, Tyrone, Trish, Nunya, and everybody else. Have a good night, folks. See y'all next live stream and see y'all on Discord. Have a good night.